Hey folks, it's time for episode 26 of the Quintuple M, the Monday Mr. Money Mustache Motivation. Today's episode is from the blog post from May 22nd, 2011, Weekend Edition, What Would the Native Americans Do? As always, I will link this blog post in the description box down below and down in the comments if you'd like to go read the whole thing and take a look at the comments posted on the blog post. One of my secret tricks to figure out what activities are really worthwhile in life is to look back to the original and ultimate mustachians of this continent, the Native Americans. These were a people who lived together in a very rich culture which was based entirely on their natural environment. The animals and plants and the weather became gods and spirits to them, and their religion served as a guide to practical living in a way that kept everyone healthy, including the surrounding ecosystem. They felt respect for the animals they killed and used every available part for food, clothing, housing, and tools. This common understanding of their earth gave the people something healthy to focus on and allowed them to prosper for thousands of years while leaving a very light footprint. While I rarely wear a loincloth myself these days, I think there is much to be learned from the original way of life. These people were badass for starters. Imagine being physically fit and with extreme physical skills you put into use every day. Like running for 8 hours while tracking prey, shooting an arrow from a bow you made yourself to fatally hit a moving bear in the eye and bring it down before it escapes or eats you. Or inventing ways to get you and your tribe through a Rocky Mountain winter using only things you harvested from the land with your own hands. And then there was the music and dancing. This was an actual part of the community. Men, women, and kids all singing and making some truly funky beats around the fire way more often than we get to do it these days, unless you're lucky enough to be in a band. Badassity has its own rewards. Becoming truly great at something difficult brings a deep happiness that cable TV can never match. When you cultivate a real physical or mental skill, it becomes one of the burning coals in your soul or a glowing golden strand in your mustache. One of the things that defines who you are and gives you confidence that you can accomplish other difficult things. Instead of running from challenge or spending money to avoid it, you actually enjoy and embrace challenge more and more. This becomes a virtuous circle and you gain even more confidence. Thus, it can be said that badassity is happiness itself, and happiness is the real point of Mr. Money Mustache himself. The natives knew how to have a rich and healthy life while buying nothing for thousands of years. So while you and I are pretty much stuck buying things these days, we can still embrace our inner badass native spirit when making decisions and start to become a bit more naked and muscular about everything we do. Yes, you can ride a bike to work, even when it's winter, because that makes you more native and thus more happy. You can find a new job that's closer to home. Yeah. Or a new home that's closer to work, because that's effort that makes you stronger and happier. Both the effort itself and the rewards that it brings. You can also clean your own house, mow your own lawn with a non-gasoline mower, and lift Olympic barbells with your own hands and using knowledge you learned by reading a book with your own eyes. You can trade and barter with other real humans in your community by buying and selling things used instead of just driving to a store every time you need something. All of this is simply an expression of becoming more native-like and badass person. And to become rich and retire early, you must become badass. It takes effort, but the good news is this effort itself is a gift that makes you become happier and sleep more soundly, and the canyon-filling money mustache it brings, awesome as it is only a side benefit. As you kick more ass over time, tell us all of your accomplishments down in the comments. This blog post has a lot of good points. I like that he mentions that badassity has its own rewards. Becoming truly great at something difficult brings a happiness that cable TV can never match. I sort of touched on this recently with my gardening video. You know, learning how to garden and can and preserve your own food. There is something just very fulfilling about that. It's a skill that not everybody has. And being able to grow and preserve your own food makes you less reliant on the store. And the other part of this blog post that stuck out to me is that part, you can find a job that's closer to home or a new home that's closer to work. Yeah, that stuck out to me because y'all know that I have an hour and 10-minute commute one way to work. And that is extremely anti-mustachian. And actually one of you had commented recently asking if I had ever thought about moving closer to work. And I mean, it's true, I could, but if I did that, then my husband would be the one with the long commute. He only works about 5 minutes from our house. So if we moved closer to my work, then he would have the long commute and I have the more fuel efficient vehicle. So it just makes more sense for me. Also, fun fact, there is a hospital that's about 10 minutes from here. And when I interviewed for this job that I currently have, I actually did interview for a full-time position that was available at that hospital as well. But the position at the local hospital was full-time, you know, regular Monday through Friday, 9 to 5 type of situation, which I'm not a fan of. I prefer the 312s, to be honest. But it was Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. And also, because it's a small rural hospital, it was, we had to take a rotating call schedule, which means that overnight they can call you in for any emergency ultrasounds that need to get done for any reason whatsoever. If the ER doctor thinks that somebody coming in needs an ultrasound for something, they can call you in the middle of the night and have you come in and do that ultrasound. Now, call is something that a lot of people in the healthcare field do. Imaging, nurses, physicians, a lot of people take call, and it's common. But myself, I have been spoiled in that I have never had to have a position that required call. And that was another huge, huge benefit of me taking the position that I have now. I do my 3 12-hour shifts at night, and that is it. And while working third shift is tricky, there is a huge, huge benefit to working third shift. I get a nice shift differential doing that. And honestly, I would prefer to work third shift over first. I'm kind of odd that way, I guess, but the shift differential is nice. Also, even if I had taken that full-time job at the hospital 10 minutes from here, the pay was significantly less than what I get right now. I'm talking like maybe 15 bucks an hour less, 12 to 15, somewhere in that range. It just, even though I have a long commute, it just makes sense for me to keep the job that I have right now. Yes, I could move closer, but the mountains are home for me, and my job is an hour and 10 minutes away from here out of the mountains, and it just doesn't feel like home. For me to be happy, I've got to be in the mountains. So while it's possible that we could move a little bit closer, say temporarily or something, again, my husband would end up with a longer commute, and then I would be out of the mountains and not be happy. And this journey's about balance. I know having a long commute is not ideal, but I'm just going to keep it for the time being. And the last good point about this article is the part where he says, it takes effort, but the good news is effort itself is a gift that makes you become happier and sleep more soundly. And it's true. You know, the harder it is to do something, the more accomplished you feel when you actually get it done and do it yourself. I know, I mean, YouTube is a great resource for anything that you're wanting to figure out how to do. Like if something breaks in your house, YouTube it. There's guaranteed there's a YouTube tutorial out there somewhere on how to fix whatever thing is broken. And if you can do it yourself and save, you know, a plumber coming out and having to take a look at it, then you're going to feel extra good for saving that money. And 2, you've learned a new life skill that you can carry on in the future. So yeah, this article makes a lot of good points. When you learn how to do things yourself, you feel more accomplished, and that makes you happy. And it really is about happiness in the end. So thanks for watching this episode, y'all. I will see you guys next Monday for the next episode of the Monday Mr. Money Mustache Motivation. Thanks for watching. Bye.